biggest challenge I have with you as a lobby association is 1, 2, 3. So we're doing a web game to identify stakeholder issues, what stakeholders would say about each other. And so as you pick out, you can see clearly who they all are from
yes,
the
badges.
badges.
I can see. Yes.
So address one of them.
And the green space is well, they are well conserved. And one thing that we have always done is to make sure that our youth, our young people, both the academia, from pre-primary all the way to tertiary level, visit these areas. And going forward, we need to work very closely with the youth so that we can more or less make them aware that they have a role to play in conserving these green spaces.
So what is the youth, we are raising issues and challenges. What is the youth not doing? You have the program. What is the youth not doing that you have a challenge with?
Number one, the youth feel that it's not their work to conserve these areas. Secondly, they have not been, they have not come up to task to more or less try and understand that these areas are important for us and for biodiversity. The other thing that the youth has done, I know a lot of them do visit, but they don't visit these areas with a conservation in mind. They visit these areas to have a good time, and these are the people you find littering these green spaces across this city.
Being told you're not interested about the green spaces, we are interested. It's the capacity to actually, how do we actually help to clean up green spaces? Because the same green spaces, if you walk in a green space, there are no proper littering spaces or segregated waste sections. That is one. Two, us as youth have the energy to actually be able to actually do that work. So how do we actually help you clean up on a regular basis and engage us in that particular process to learn more how to clean those particular green spaces? We don't want to carry placards and shout in the streets, but we just want to get involved at the same time getting some income from the national government to actually be able to clean those green spaces. As we transition, as we help to transition between our generation and next generation, that actually will be helping cleaning up the green spaces. And
what is the issue you're telling the government to address?
To give us opportunity to actually help in cleaning those green spaces.
Okay. You need opportunities from government to clean green spaces. And what will that opportunity look like?
It will be in terms of...
Are you looking for, what is the opportunity? Break it down. What is that incentive? What does it look like?
The incentive?
Or that opportunity, what does it look like for you, which the government is not providing today?
Unemployment issue actually being at least lower to what we have currently.
Okay.
So that will reduce cases of crime or other issues that either youth are involved in. But I want to bring you down to bring the issue to relate it to a green space. Okay.
Particularly to a green space.
A green space.
Yeah. So that we pick out the very specific issues, because employment could be anybody's issue.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Anywhere. But what issue does a youth have with the national government when it comes to managing a green space?
Waste management.
So they say, government, please, we need you to organize waste management so that we can keep our green spaces. So for all...
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. My stakeholder to address is the local government. The local government, or rather the county governments.
Yes.
The government has made very good laws. However, some of the laws are quite overlapping, and in the past few years, there have been very good master plans for most of our towns. So I think the issue is the county governments should push into implementing these good plans to ensure that we have very good green spaces within the towns, so the good deal of the population staying in these towns.
So you have a problem that local government is replicating laws?
They are quite reluctant.
To
implement some of these policies and master plans.
Okay.
Thank you. I would like to wish you to be more quiet. I need to develop my city.
infrastructure, because all these traffic jams is going to cost me votes. So therefore, please be a little bit more quiet and let me and yeah, if it takes some of the green spaces, we have to give in. Everybody has to give in a little bit. So please, instead of being against me, be cooperative.
Be a little quiet.
Mine and directly the tourism business. I, as the local NGO, first and foremost, I will not sit down and see the county government reducing our green areas to zero, and I'm keeping quiet, and I think I'm one of the voice of the people. Back to the tourism business. As much as you are visiting us as a Maasai community, in the name of conservation, we are doing a lot of madness to us. First and foremost, you are driving off roads, which is reducing the biodiversity of our national parks. And secondly, you are littering our places, which most of the time, as a Maasai community.
You're a local NGO, you're not Maasai community.
Yeah, okay, sorry. as an NGO at the Maasai community, we most of the time, we try to keep our place free of litter as much as possible. But when you visit us, the tourism guys, you litter our area, and some of the products that you leave to our ecosystem actually it is dirtifying our rivers and the environment at large.
As you are aware, we bring a lot of money to this country.
Who are you addressing?
I'm
You're not
addressing
answering his question.
The national government and the local government.
No, one.
Okay, the national government.
Sorry,
Can you answer one person twice?
another. No.
At the moment, we would like to address everybody else before we go twice to the same person. Yeah.
My blame to the national government. They were taxing us a lot of money. We're bringing in money, but we take it through licensing that we don't even understand. So it's actually bringing up down our business, and we can't get money to actually to do something on the green spaces.
So you don't have money to give back because you're paying lots of taxes
Yes.
to the spaces.
Local residents, who are sometimes responsible for, especially the waste management issues, and then also coming to the green spaces. When they are doing their development, they know very well what the law says. The majority, they still maybe applaud they build the entire space, they don't leave around the 10%, which is stipulated in the law. So I would say the problem is they need to adhere to the law because it is for their own good.
Residents are violating the
I
law.
would like to refuse that because I would like to complain because we are not included in any sort of public participation. So when any project goes on, if any public space is being taken away, we are not involved until to the point where we can say it's already encroached. So the problem is the national government. Let us follow our constitution and let us include the public in any sort of project. And now I want to talk to the media. So issues to do with climate change and even, as you said, the protection of green spaces. Let me talk about our Uhuru Park. We have had stories of Uhuru Park, Nairobi National Park that have been at risk, but the media is not giving it as much attention because you want to give attention to things that have a little bit of, what do I call it? Maybe, I don't know, music, and exactly. So why are you not giving attention to environmental matters and issues to do with climate change and protection of green spaces?
First of all, I'd like to deny the fact that you are saying we don't highlight the issues of green spaces. If anything, as a media, we are always in the forefront. When there's grabbing of open space for the playing kids from our local NGOs, we always shout out that yes, the land is being grabbed. We're the first people who shouted about the spaces being taken over by the so-called entrepreneurs in the city. So I would like to say the media is playing a very critical role in highlighting these issues and bringing them to the discussion table for the people to act and react about them.
You're supposed to be addressing a stakeholder, not answering the question.
So
Talk to someone
let me address the
and the challenge that you have.
CFA. CFA
Community Forest Association.
Community Forest Association.
Now, as a media, we raised an issue at one time about the open spaces in Karura being taken over, but it was very strange that when we raised that issue, the local CFA were the ones fighting us instead of bringing the issue on the table.
I'm not supposed to answer you. So, as Community Forest Association, we play a very critical role in making sure that the forests are maintained as it was to improve the forest covers through maybe the system like the old system known as Shamba system, where we have to improve how to take care of the trees, and at the same time we get something. You understand that? We plant trees and then we plant some crops inside. So we are fighting two things: land degradation, and at the same time we are improving food security. And for that, we need to be appreciated. Now, but I have a concern with the international NGOs. You have a critical role. For example, we have some international NGOs that deals with agriculture, others dealing with forests. But when they come to matters dealing with forests, they are not involving us. They are going straight to the government and local government, forgetting about the community associations. Why?
What's a UN? Yes, us as international bodies, when we come, we meet so many lobby groups which are saying that they are fighting for the forest, but majority of them is owned by individuals. We channel a lot of resources through them, but we don't see any impact, or we don't get a return of what you are giving out. So we'd like to know all these lobby groups, and they explain to us how come that all the resources they are receiving, they are not seeing any meaningful change.
It's so much money that we don't see the impact.
I think for me, speaking on behalf of the association, we are really playing a critical role in lobbying the government to be able to address some of these challenges we are facing on environment, forest, community issues that are affecting all of us are some of the things we hold dear, and that's why we're very passionate about lobbying government. The biggest challenge for me, I'd probably send it back to government, but I see the key people that we need volunteers. We need people who can come to support these lobbyists, to speak with one voice, ensure that there is a support. Because if the lobbyists are standing on their own, then the mistrust is always going to be there. So our challenge is with people who can step up and support the lobbyists to show that we are all working.
As he said, I'm not supposed to respond, but allow me to respond to this. Almost all these organizations need me as a volunteer, and I want to address my challenge to the tourism or the tourists who visit our green spaces. in these green spaces, they have rules and policies that have been established. But you realize that even the local tourists do not want to abide by the rules and the policies that have been set up in those green spaces. Like you are told, when you come, with whatever trash or litter you generate, you're supposed to go back with it. But we receive a lot of resistance from the tourists who visit. So I would request that they adhere to the policies and rules in those green spaces.
Can I address everyone?
You can address
Someone.
One.
You can address the tourism business, you can address the green space manager.
Yeah, the government. And ultimately, from everybody's complaints, I think everything falls on the national government. All the problems, challenges, start with me first as a tourist, but then above all, go back to the national government.
What wants the government to do?
To implement the laws and basically implement the laws.
Business. You already addressed them. I can see you got a web.
We should sort out this year.
The issue is coming up about the waste in this urban waste process. They indicate that we've not informed them adequately. So I think maybe it be upon you to have guidelines to inform them when they maybe visit maybe national parks. You don't enter there, what the law says about the plastics and all that. So I think you are sleeping on the job a little bit. So look into that.
No. We will still have issues with each one of us, right? But there are significant lessons that we learn from this web. We had said earlier on that when we work as individual green spaces, our weaknesses are as many as the stakeholders, because each of these stakeholders has an issue with us. Yeah? So instead of standing with us, they will find an issue against us. The more reason, like you said, everyone needs to be involved. Everyone needs to know what we are doing. Everyone needs to understand what our responsibilities are. And we need to know how we can work with each other. Because we can take this web round and round, and we will do another round and another round and another round, and the issues will keep emerging. So lesson number one, each one of these stakeholders, if you are not engaged with them, they're your weak point. Yeah? Just try, for example, let me ask the green space manager to try, can we hold the web tightly where it is? And let me ask the green space manager to try and rise by themselves. To rise up? If this was going under here, you will face a lot of resistance, which means you need a lot of time and resources to get whatever you're trying to get through, because you are not rising together. Your issue is not agreeable to all these places, to all these stakeholders. As you start to rise up, they will each be pulling. Yeah, like, this is me, what I'm interested in. I don't care about what you're doing about, because you've never involved me, you've never engaged me. I don't understand what your impact is. I don't even understand what's going on with you. But if we try to pull this rise together, this web, it's very easy. We'll all go up together, yeah? Because we are all responding to everybody's issues, and we are aware about what is going on. So we can all stand with Karura when Karura is threatened. We can stand with Uhuru Park when it's threatened. We can stand with Central Park when it is threatened. And when we stand up together, we are so strong that any one person now trying to rise above us will use a lot of energy. But it's the other way around. When we are weak and one person tries to rise against us, they will rise very quickly, because there will be many spaces they can pop into in this web. Because like I said, and I repeat, each of your stakeholders, if they are not part of what you're doing, they are your weak point. Whether you need just to acknowledge them, be aware of them, or work with them, but we must know that they are there and we must know the issues that are relevant for them and how they affect what we do, okay? So as we go into our discussions for the rest of this afternoon, let us start on this point that we all need each other to protect green spaces in Nairobi. And all these stakeholders are important. And we must therefore find a way of engaging each one of them. And that's why, again, we talked about coming together with a unified voice and strong in our own right. Yeah? That's another thing we learn from here. Nobody needs to, I don't need to, you don't need, the tourist doesn't need to stop traveling, yeah? The national government doesn't need to say, I'm not interested in you. Each one of us stays as a stakeholder because we have a role. But we need each other because we function only better when we function together. Thank you very much for being part of the game. Thank you.